You can buy, these days you can even get one for $15, but usually like 30 bucks or whatever at Walmart. You can get a decent blender, if you will. And that's, I didn't always use protein powder. Usually my recipe in the past, and I always made raspberry smoothies, and that was it. I just had frozen raspberries, almond milk, and a banana. That's it. The banana serves as a coagulant, a binder, if you will. So it keeps everything together so it's not slushy. See how, you know, the banana is mushy and everything, so that binds everything together. The protein powder does kind of the same thing. For some reason, I just don't feel like buying bananas. Also, although with the smoothies I would use one a day, if I buy bananas and they go bad, then I get all banana shape. I like bananas when they're perfect and ripe and not overly, you know, not overripe, if you will. Anyway, so that's the recipe for that, and it can be made in a regular blender. That's what I did for years before getting the Vitamix. I got the Vitamix during the heights of my raw veganism. All kinds of recipes can be had in there. It's amazing what you can do with vegetables. People would even like some vegetables if they were chopped up and used for crust. I guess I don't make crust, but they have now they have cauliflower crust and everything. So you can see recipes online for that. Are we doing Milk Boy? Okay. It's a little bit windy in these here parts. Philly is one of these cities. We have two rivers, one on the east, the Schuylkill, and the Delaware on the east. I'm walking eastward, and the Delaware is about 12 blocks east of here. A little more if you count the highway, because you have to go over like Front Street, past Front Street and over I-95 to get there. And it's walkable. They have bridges and everything. And all the way in the west, they have the Schuylkill. That's where I walked yesterday on the Riverwalk with the connector bridge, Christian to Crescent. So, did I find Crescent is a street? Technically, you take the bridge. If you take the path after the bridge, it takes you all the way to Wharton Street. So I thought that was interesting. But they call it, you know, Christian to Crescent because I think they mean the bridge itself is a connector from really what's considered Center City, Philadelphia, down to South Philly. Anyway, so here we go. We are 11 minutes in. That's not bad. I'm kind of hoofing it here because I want to be good on time. Heading east towards 11th, where Top Tomato is to the left. Jefferson Hospital. I call it Jefferson University Hospital because technically there's a university here and a lot of med students attend Jefferson University, and then there's, you know, this is part of the hospital system that's attached to their university, so I believe it's a teaching university then, or a teaching hospital. In Florida they have, for certain, they're probably all teaching hospitals on some level because of University of Florida, but the Florida Regional, so no comment on teaching hospitals because everybody has to practice sometimes a little too much, and I've wondered, you know, as a result. So, oops, sorry. Here at Milk Boy. I have a shark backpack up here, or a piranha, right? This hospital has this interesting design structure on the corner, and it could look like a piranha, And some have wondered like why certain design elements are put in, why they choose certain things. Also, if you were to come from another direction, it could look like teeth also, piranha and or, sorry, all right, thanks. And teeth is an issue because the drug culture is so massive. Particularly in Philadelphia, a lot of people are relegated up to the Kensington area. Kensington is like Oakland, California. I don't know, Florida, I'm sure, I don't know where people go. It's just all over the place. That's a whole peninsula, you know. So we have running water helping puddle systems here. See how you can get splashed here on purpose? Now, I don't know if they're draining something out up here, out of the kitchen of Mom's. It's coming out of the hose of Mom's. So you could orchestrate that. I got a slight splash, it's not that bad, as I walked past here, but if you're not paying attention, you could wind up majorly splashed. And this, you know, it's right out of the spigot, this hose. It's not like, so the hose is actually on and it's running out of the spigot on the side. I don't think it's a drainage, I actually just think they turned on the hose. I could be wrong, maybe they're draining, but you know, I'm just saying. It's like Sex in the City, or Sex and the City. I always forget, it's Sex in the City. I think I went back and forth on the title of that series, but they show Carrie Bradshaw, you know, and she, you know, a bus goes by and it splashes her. It's so city life. It happens anywhere, but in the city, the odds are greater. Because there's always, you know, whenever it rains, there's puddles all over creation and people are walking on sidewalks. And it's, you know, some people never get hit by splashes, some people always do, you know, what's the difference? Timing could be part of it. And it's not like the people who never get hit are careful, they're just like bumble along and they never, you know, the piano never falls on their heads when they walk by. That's an old cartoon reference. So anyway, where you see this character walking along, blah, 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 blah. People are trying to like kill him or whatever, and pianos fall from the sky and he still walks, he just misses the piano falling from the sky. So let imagination be your guide. Walt Disney World Resort, visit Orlando. Orlando has an ad up here. We've had a lot of Florida ads. We've had Tampa, now we have Orlando. They've had Arizona. So in the past, we didn't have this many billboards for many years in Philadelphia. While you know, this is a recent addition, if you will. You know, probably since the pandemic. And they've been advertising Florida like no one's business. I was in Florida for 2.5 years and came back at the tail end of the pandemic. And I found it interesting that there are so many Florida references. It's ridiculous. It's like, oh, all of a sudden, everybody loves Florida. All of a sudden, and you know, Philly and Florida, you know what I mean? Somehow I can see advertising in the southeast, right? Like the Carolinas, Virginia, thank you. Caught that on the airwaves. And maybe DC, you know, they go to the beaches a lot in Delaware, the DCers. But once you get past the Mason-Dixon line, then it's not as popular to advertise for Florida because it's not as easy